Hello everybody. In this video, we will try to understand what happens when Rahu is in the second house in the sign of Scorpio. That means it is for Libra ascendant. So for Libra ascendant, when Rahu is in the second house, then we say Rahu is generally in the sign of Scorpio. So what happens? Basically, Libra ascendant, it's Libra ascendant, so second house is Scorpio, it's ruled by Mars, and it is also very much heavily influenced by Ketu, because Scorpio is the sign where Ketu can completely manifest its energy. So you can say Scorpio is co-ruled by the planet Ketu. And now, what is second house in Vedic astrology? Second house is your speech, your family, and your upbringing, your wealth accumulation, that is your bank balance, your liquid cash, and also your food habits. Your food, it is second house, and your values, because the first house represents your physical body and and your decisions and all, your life pattern, whereas the second house is next to the first house, which is actually representing your values and upbringing, because after your birth you see these things only. You are going to be affected by the values with which your family, right, raising you, and your upbringing is heavily influenced by the energies of second house. So what happens when Rahu is in the second house? In Vedic astrology, it's very much noted that wherever Rahu is present, that basically represents the kind of intense desire that you have. So as Rahu is in the second house, the native having this placement would have intense desire for wealth and status, because Rahu amplifies hunger for financial success, even luxury, name, and social respect. And it also represents a kind of unconventional or sudden financial growth. So it's something like wealth may come from unusual or foreign connections, or risky behavior, or some hidden sources, because Scorpio is influencing that hidden sources here. And as Scorpio energy is also important for research, strategy, and all, so the native may gain from some kind of research or strategy also. Even Rahu is about speculation, and Scorpio is also about secretive work, and Rahu is also, to some extent, it's very much related to secretive work. So the native may gain some money through some speculation or secretive work as well. And as Rahu is in the second house, and second house represents your family, so there's an observation of complex family karma. It's something like family dynamics may be complicated. There's miscommunication, secrets, power games, emotional distance, are being raised in an environment where you had to become emotionally strong in your early life itself, right? So that kind of complex family scenarios we can observe, because Rahu is in the second house, and second house represents your family. Now what about the speech of the person? Speech becomes magnetic but sharp, because Rahu is really magnetic in nature. You can see a lot of people when they in their Rahu Antardasha, they generally meet some magnetic people. So Rahu represents this magnetism, and as Rahu is in the second house, and second house represents speech, so the person's speech becomes very, very magnetic. So the voice can be hypnotic, so it's sometimes sarcastic, of course, and Rahu is a kind of demon, so you can expect the speech can be blunt or kind of cutting. So speech can influence masses, but emotional control is needed to avoid hurting others. may not be intentionally, unintentionally you may be hurting the people, right? Even it depends on your ascendant whether you are able to observe this behavior of you or not. So you might be hurting the people around you with your speech, because Rahu is kind of can give the blunt and cutting speech. And it's Scorpio energy and Rahu is present, so you can expect some interest in occult, psychology, hidden truths, because Scorpio energy makes the native research minded basically. So they often try to understand human behavior, motives, mysteries, kind of they are interested in metaphysics if they get to know something about this. And then the karmic lessons the soul learns, you know definitely wherever Rahu sits, that's the area of your karmic lessons. So what it means, you need to use your words responsibly, because with that you might be hurting others, or you might be getting some troublesome situations by your speech. So also try to build your wealth ethically, and handle trust and emotional power without manipulation, because the wherever Rahu sits, that's where some manipulating behavior also comes into the picture. So you need to you should have an eye on your manipulating behavior that may that may disturb the trust that other peoples have on you. So how can you feel this energy? You want to understand, you want to get to know this particular energy. So just imagine a Scorpio is a kind of, it's a deep sign. It's a very deep watery sign. It's a fixed sign. So just imagine a person holding a treasure, and the treasure is buried underground. So the treasure can be anything. The moment I say treasure, you might be imagining some wealth, and as it is second house, of course, it's very much possible that you're imagining wealth, but that can be anything like wealth, power, truth, knowledge, or your influence, whatever, right? Generally, you can think of wealth and you can relate it with some wealthy things in your life, because these are all wealthy things. The power that you have, the knowledge you have, the influence you have, this is all wealth only. And so everything is the treasure that that the person has is actually buried underground. So to reach it, the person must dig very carefully, right? And he has to face some darkness, he has to overcome fear, because he wants to see what lies beneath, and that is of course treasure. So if the person rush with some kind of greed, the ground would collapse, right? And the treasure would be gone. This is the situation, just imagine. So if the person dig patiently with some integrity, the hidden treasure it would belong to that person finally, right? So as Rahu is, I'm telling you, Rahu in Scorpio is a kind of powerhouse. But how you manage it, how you channelize that energy is very much important. Even I told in the other video, Rahu in the 8th house and the sign of Scorpio, the other video, if you observe, that's a very very high powered energy, because it's the 8th house. Even in the 2nd house, you need to be very careful with this energy. When you are careful, yes, the wealth is yours. You might be getting some hurdles, you might be getting some darkness, ups and downs, but here the wealth, of course the wealth can be your power, your influence, or your knowledge, but in the modern world I would say it would be mainly wealth, right? So that's how this energy is useful for you. How you can channelize your speech, how you can use your it's I should not use the word use here, how you adjust with your family members, how you how you can utilize your family resources. So be cautious in that. The whole drama that you might be having in this family picture, how you're going to fit in this. You should use this Rahu's energy, this kind of strategic behavior, you can say, or the intelligence, you can say, how you're going to utilize it. By that you can get a lot of wealth, right? So in order to feel this energy more, just imagine, uh, imagine a person. He was born in a respected family, let us say, but as Rahu is in the second house, just imagine that his childhood was full of silent wars. So people spoke politely, but the people hid some sharp truths. So he grew up learning that words are weapons. He understood in the early life itself, words are weapons basically, because Rahu is in the second house. That's the teaching that you can get in your life. That is, you should use your speech carefully, right? If you are not using your speech carefully, you will be in troubles. That is the message here. So how you're going to work on your speech is the most important. The kind of words that you are using in your life is going to play a very vital role in your life. That decides, sometimes that decides everything in your life. So let us imagine a person who understood words are weapons in the early stage of life itself. He is very fortunate that he understood this at early age. But there are so many people I saw with Rahu is in the second house, and they understood the fact that this particular thing, that is words are weapons, at later stage of life they realize lately. But let's take a positive example here. This person understood the the learning, he got the learning that words are weapons in the early stage of life itself. So one day he discovered a secret room in his let us say in his house, where it's something like he got a secret room in his, let us say, building. Let's take in his home. Let's say the home is very big, and he got to know that there is a secret room in that particular building. Now the building, that room, if you observe, it's filled with lot of hidden things. Like it is filled with some astrology books or tantric books or Scorpio related. You got it? So he started studying them, and slowly he learned how to influence others, how to speak few words but strike deep into the heart. So this is the pattern I am telling. The life pattern of a person having Rahu in the second house, he learns that words are weapons. He is definitely going to learn words are weapons, and he also can understand that how to influence others, art of influencing others. This is going to be very much important for him in the life, because Rahu is in the second house. So he will definitely understand in his life how to use the words, how to use your speech to influence others. So let's imagine, by learning all these things, he became wealthy, right? But it's not just by some kind of, it may not be some conventional means, but he understood now how to use speech, how to use this kind of art of influencing others. So once you understood these two things in your life, the Rahu in the second house guy I'm talking about, once he understand these two things, how to influence others, how to use your speech carefully, how to fit into your family carefully. If you understand these things, yes, you can accumulate a lot of wealth, right? So you should know that you should not speak harshly to your loved ones, right? Because that's going to give you a lot of pain in your life. If you speak harshly with your loved ones, that's going to give you a lot of pain in your life. So you need to have some lesson in your life. You need to understand this early, that is, knowledge without compassion creates fear. It doesn't create any respect for you, right? You might be having some good amount of knowledge because Rahu is in the Scorpio for you, and but the knowledge without compassion, if you do not have that compassion, it would only create fear in your life. Ultimately, it will not create any respect for you, right? So use your speech to heal others instead of cutting others. Use your speech to guide others instead of controlling others, right? Otherwise, you would you will you will be in a situation in your life where you will get distanced from your family. Even though you are knowledgeable, even though you have so many things, but you will be distanced from your family if you're not using your speech carefully. So that is the transformation that Rahu wants to give you. So you have to transform. Rahu wants to transform you from a sharp speech person to a healing speech person. From a person who is having a lot of hunger for power to mastery of inner power, right? So Rahu is going to give you this particular transformation in your life, right? So you need to understand words have the power to destroy and words have the power to heal also. Which one you want to choose? See, when words are both true and kind, they can change the world. Understand this, right? So if you're able to influence others carefully, then it's something like you are conquering them, thereby you are conquering yourself, right? So you better focus on art of influencing. Do not be harsh or blunt with your speech. So I will tell you some remedies. uh, Whatever I told you now, those are the observations I made from you know from some of the horoscopes. Now I want to tell you the remedies. Mainly for Rahu in the second house person, the behavioral remedies are required. Something like you need to speak consciously, and you need to practice some honesty, and you need to maintain some healthy boundaries in family matters. Is the most important thing. You need to maintain healthy boundaries in your family matters. Avoid manipulation or a kind of power driven speech. Do not do that. Power driven speech is very dangerous for you. And I want to tell you one technique. Please observe yourself, and whenever you're using some sharp words, pause. Have some pause. Pause before sharp words. That is the ultimate remedy for you. And Rahu related remedies, that's chanting Rahu mantra is one of the most important thing for you. 108 times daily, at least on Saturdays you better do it. And the most important thing for you is offering water to people tree, especially on Saturdays. So offer water to people tree, right? So do not touch the people tree, but offer water. You're getting it? You can You can even touch, not a problem. But it's fine, it's fine. I'm not going to uh, tell what I observed from other people. It's something like it can be a kind of imagination also. So I don't want to tell this one, because this was told to me from one of the astrologers. But it's okay, you can touch people tree, that's not a problem. So offer water to people tree, that's what I want to tell you. And one spiritual remedy I want to tell you is meditate on your voice. Become aware of the tone and intention. The kind of tone that you have. Meditate on that. And also study some psychology so that you can get to know about you, about your speech, and how you're dealing your family matters. You can get to know these things. So study psychology or kind of introspective knowledge so that you can channelize this Rahu energy in the sign of Scorpio very positively. So also you practice forgiveness. If somebody is doing some mistake, or you might be thinking that is a mistake, right? Forgive. Practice forgiveness. Otherwise, how can you release your family karmic wounds? You cannot release them. So I would say it's a kind of good placement for you to get some lessons. And once you get lessons, please have some mindfulness. Please understood that you got the lessons, and now you have to practice them in your life so that you can accumulate your wealth, you can accumulate some peace of mind, and also your family members will be comfortable, and your speech is well maintained. It would have some well maintained tone. So focus on your speech and family matters. And once you get the lessons, once you uh, once you understood that speech is everything and art of influencing is everything in your life, you can accumulate a lot of wealth as well. So do not be harsh and blunt in your speech, right? So follow these remedies. Other than that, things are fine, right? It's a kind of lesson teaching placement for you. Thanks for watching this video.